to Tom Hopkins International's recording of Sell It Today, Sell It Now, Mastering the Art of the One-Call Close. To present this phenomenal system, here's Tom Hopkins.
I'm very excited about this new program, Sell It Today, Sell It Now, the Art of the One-Call Close. And to give you a little background how I created it, I, of course, live my life looking for ways to better teach people in sales. I'm always looking for technique, strategies, everywhere I go, because my life is training salespeople. It's my passion. Well, I got hired years ago by a company, a large company. They have 500 salespeople. And whenever I do a custom program, I go into the company, analyze their training, because I want to know what they teach their people. I don't want to come in and teach something contradictory to their beliefs or their strategies. So I spent a week with their training director, Pat Leiby. And after a week, I said, Pat, what you teach your people is so good. I have to work with you, if you'll let me, to co-author a book. And I've been asked by many people to do that, and I've never found the material I felt was so valuable for my students. Well, I worked with Pat. We wrote the book, created an audio program, and then, of course, are now putting this on video for you to enjoy. Now, as we do, I want you to realize when you hear the title, Sell It Today, Sell It Now, the Art of the One-Call Close, please realize we're talking about one call, not one time. See, some of you have a one-step presentation and closing sequence. And you know that 98 to 100% of the time, if you don't get to check that presentation, you'll maybe never see them again. Now, that would be closing it today. Some of you have a two-step process. You go in for the first call, gather data, come back, present, and then close. Some of you may have a three-step process. What I want you to realize in this program is whatever your goal is on that call, you must accomplish that. So if there's 3 visits, visit number 1, I must get this done, that's closing on that call. Visit 2, I must get this accomplished, closing on that call. And visit number 3 is when I go in and get the check, get the final commitment, get their approval, close the transaction. Okay? So open your minds to this now and tailor-make it to your situation. Now, the first thing we have to realize that in every selling situation, there are only 4 key obstacles to be overcome. And this is from the moment you meet someone to the moment they own your product or service. Now, understanding and working on these 4 keys will help you quickly lower sales resistance and increase sales acceptance. Thus, you'll reach the goal of the closed sale today. Now, let me start off again by saying there's something important here we must discuss. You see, the amount of sales resistance that a person has when you start a selling situation depends on how they met you. In other words, if the sale is buyer initiated, they call you, they walk into your office, they're the ones looking for the product. If they are the ones that contact the company, that is called buyer initiated, and there'll be less sales resistance. When you contact a stranger with a telephone call, or you go to their business, or you knock on their door, that is seller, which you are the seller of the product, initiated. So when the seller initiates the original contact, there's high sales resistance. Now, I think you realize that when you have a referral and the people send you to meet a friend or relative, there's a lot less sales resistance because they've been told good things about you. So again, keep in mind, one of the first keys in this process is you must determine how much sales resistance there's going to be based on that selling situation. Now, for our example, what I want to do is take it and make it the toughest sale you can ever make, so there'll be 100% sales resistance. Now, there's 4 key obstacles in any selling situation, as I mentioned. The first, of course, is trust. Most people, when they meet a salesperson, start with a feeling of, I feel no trust. Now, our goal in our presentation is to move that from no trust to some trust to lots of trust. Because, see, no one will really let you persuade them to invest in anything if they don't trust you. So, you must work toward helping them think, I feel some trust here. Then, of course, the second obstacle is need. Most people, when you present a product to them in the beginning, say, you know, I feel no need. Our goal in our presentation is to move them and change their mindset to one of, I feel some need, and hopefully you can move them to where, boy, I really need this product. Your third obstacle we must overcome is help. Meaning, most people start off with, I might trust you now, I might really need the product, but I don't know if I want to invest in it with you. Meaning they can have a friend in the business, they might know another company. So no one wants to ever admit they're helpless. However, you can help someone see that you provide answers in areas where they may not be as well informed because you are the professional. And you know exactly what's best for them based on your experience. So you need to change their mindset to one of, I want your help, you see. They want you. You're part of the equation now. And then, of course, the fourth obstacle is hurry. They may trust you now. They may have a need. They may want your help. But now we have a challenge in a procrastinating society where I feel no hurry. Tie in with the word hurry the word urgency. Because one of the keys to a great presentation is we must create urgency throughout the entire presentation. Now, unless there's an emergency situation, no one is going to be in a hurry to purchase anything. Your job is to help them see that by taking care of the buying decision today, they'll be better off than if they wait. They need to think, hey, I feel some hurry here in order to take action. Now, the average person starts every sales situation with a high degree of sales resistance. Now, remember, it depends on how the original contact started. To just have you remember that, a referral, lower sales resistance. They contact you, lower sales resistance. You call them, contact, you start the process. They don't know who you are when you begin. High sales resistance. So when I started to develop this program, I thought, how can I visually have people see the process of reducing sales resistance and increasing sales acceptance? So what I decided to do was use the thermometer, because your goal is to see visually how we lower it, and we're going to do it in 10-degree increments. So your job is to lower their sales resistance by degrees until it reaches 0 degrees. And that's our goal. So watch the thermometers as we do this presentation, because it'll visually show you how our job has to be handled in closing on this visit. Please realize too many salespeople who are untrained try to increase sales acceptance before they've done an adequate job in the proper sequence of reducing sales resistance. So the Sell It Today system works like that. We're going to look at our thermometers. I'll put in each of the 10 degrees of reducing sales resistance, and then we'll put in the 10 degrees of increasing sales acceptance, and when we're done, we'll have a closed transaction today. So let's start off with the first 10 degrees, lowering it from 100 to 90, and that is the word appropriate. Everything they see and hear from the moment you meet them should be appropriate for the time and place. What this means is that everything you do, everything you say, your dress, your look, everything must fit the situation. Let me give you an example. You wouldn't go into the McDonald's hamburger restaurant and see someone working the counter in overalls. That, for that situation's inappropriate, and you might lose some trust about this organization, this company. On the other hand, you wouldn't walk into McDonald's and see the man behind the counter wearing a full Brooks Brothers suit either. So everything must be appropriate. Your look, your dress, your original greeting, your handshake, if it's appropriate. Then what happens is just that lowers sales resistance by 10 degrees. The second thing we must work on is the intention statement. Now, your intention statement contains two things. First, it must clearly explain what your intention is. In essence, you walk them through what will happen during your time together. It's almost like an agenda of sorts. Then you'll ask them what they think about it. It's the flow of events. The second thing is it must imply, not state, that it's okay to say no. That this isn't for everyone. That I don't get everyone involved in this. I'm not going to apply any pressure here. Now, what I'd like you to do is listen and watch as I present now a paragraph that'll show you these items. Ready? John, Mary, due to the fact that we have such a great reputation for quality products, thousands of clients have entrusted their business to us. However, it's not for everyone, so we at Tom Hopkins International don't believe in high pressure. Tonight will be an educational experience that will allow you to determine if what we have to offer will truly benefit you. You see what happens when you do that? The people you're presenting to relax and open themselves up to allow their curiosity to take over. So now we've lowered it another 10 degrees with our intention statement. Now the next thing we're going to do, I call the 3 C's. These are the next 3 things we do to lower it another 30 degrees. Now the first C is so important. It's called commonality. Commonality. See, you must be like a detective and look for clues as to their backgrounds, their likes, their interests, habits, their business, anything you can find that you have in common with them. And that's, again, part of getting in there and doing the original presentation so they feel you have something in common with them. The next C is credibility. Credibility. Now, you must learn the story of your company. And you need to back it up with facts and establish 2 things. The bigness of the company, if your company is large, big reputation, been in business for years, or the quality of service you render to clients. See, I believe a professional salesperson takes his or her company and they'll make it a benefit based on what the company is like. If I worked for a small company, I would find a way to make that an advantage. I would say, John, Mary, I did research and looked at all the companies that do what we do. I saw huge companies with thousands of people. Then I saw companies like ours that had a few true professionals and gave more professional service, and so that's why I chose my company. See, you've got to learn to take your company and make it the best based on what you have to offer the client. If you do that, you'll lower it 10 degrees more. So now we go to the next C, which is called competency. Surprisingly, if you do the first 4 steps properly, this 5th one is almost carried, and it's competency. You see, if you've done everything right so far, they start looking at you as a competent person. It'll be assumed in the eyes of your future client. So again, let me let you hear how I would deliver these 3 C's in my presentation, okay? John and Mary, let me put myself in your shoes for a moment. If I were you, I'd have a lot of questions about what I'm offering here tonight. Here are some of the things I'd want answered. Tell me if you're thinking along these same lines. What is this company all about? How long have they been in business? Is this going to cost me money? Is it going to save me money? Will my time spent with you be worthwhile? How long will it take? I assure you I will answer these questions throughout my presentation. But before we get started, are there any other questions in your mind that I didn't mention so I can be certain to answer them as well? You see, if your questions match theirs, which those will, that's exactly what most people are thinking, they perceive you as competent because you're like them. I'd like you to try this idea. It's best if your questions are jotted down in your own handwriting on a page of the legal pad. And it's almost like you were just thinking about these questions before you arrived. Then, of course, you've taken your pen and you've asked them, are there any other questions that I can cover? They might then say, well, one thing we're a little concerned about, and now you take and write down their question right underneath your 5 or 6 that you have on your pad. It's a wonderful way to start writing right in the beginning. And we've lowered them down now another 10 degrees. We're now